Good morning, everyone. KJ here. Can y'all believe I just said Monday, last Monday? How's everybody doing? Good morning, Tessie Cooper. Good day to you. I guess it's different time zones for everyone, and I'm not early and I'm not late. I'm just right. Had a really, really good weekend. I guess I could go down all of that real quickly. Saturday, Wayne and I attended a charity event. It was like an auction. Good morning, Dog Mom. Good morning, Christina Hill, Nancy Bergbauer, Philly, Jeff H. Good to see you, Jeff. Lori, Olive Heatley, Grammy B, Beach Lady. Yeah, we went to a charity auction. Good morning, Don Spencer. How are you? Hi, Stephanie Willow. We went to this, and what the charity was about, it's a cemetery fund here in the county here. Good morning, Chris Arnett. And it isn't where Wayne and I are going to be buried. Excuse me. It's in our community. We live in a community out here, out in a lot of people call it the boondocks. And it's just our way of being a good neighbor. Hi, Stephanie Tomic and Shannon Commit. And what they do is they get together every year, and they'll have like a little country band, and they sell like hamburgers and barbecue and French fries and things like that. And all those proceeds go to the cemetery fund. They have like Cokes and water and stuff like that. And then you buy a bunch of raffle tickets, which Wayne and I never win. It's a raffle for like $175. One's for $100, one's for $75 or whatever. But we never win. We just buy the raffle tickets because all proceeds go to the cemetery fund, and it's to help upkeep a cemetery that's in our area. Then they have this auction, which Wayne and I love to do. They auction off anything and everything you can think of. They auctioned off a watermelon, y'all. Just a watermelon, nothing special about it, for $100, okay? So every year, Wayne and I, we get some interesting things at that auction, namely the thing we're looking for. There's this old fella in the community who raises tomatoes. And these tomatoes, I don't know what he puts on them. I don't know how he does it. Well, we get this great big basket. It's usually around 40 to 50 pounds of tomatoes. Well, our bid was $300. So we bought $300 worth of tomatoes. And guess what we're going to do with them? We're going to can them and make tomato juice in honor now of my mother's passing, because she used to make the tomato juice and send it to old KJ to drink. So I'm using my mother's recipe of tomato juice, and we get together, him and I. This will be our second year to make tomato juice, and we drank up all what we made last year because it's so good, my mom's recipe. But we've been going to this auction for years and years and years, but when Mom passed, we decided to incorporate that little tradition. I keep all her jars that she sent here, and we buy new lids and rings, and we together, him and I, this evening on Monday night, because it's always on a Saturday, we're going to do some tomato juice canning. So anyway, we also got, we paid $50 for 4 brownies, chocolate brownies. Let's see what else we did. It was the tomatoes. Then Wayne bought this thing that goes on it's called a come along. And it helps tighten down, because he has tractors, he's a construction company. He bought a brand new one of them, way overpriced. It was a lot of fun. And finally, y'all, there was this little old sweet lady. She's 94 years old. Last year, she knitted an Afghan, and we got that. This year, we got a dolly. If you know what a dolly is, it's those little crocheted things that you put on the table. They're designs. I think we spent $100 on it, and we just had the time of our lives, and we really enjoyed that auction. They raised a lot of money for the cemetery. Oh, yeah, CHP. I think I showed the raise this a while back. Let me see if y'all can see it. See it? Hot flashes. Y'all know at 52 years of age, old KJ suffers from time to time. Maybe that explains how crazy I get. Who knows? Well, Ann Gibson, I would love to do that. Maybe I could shoot a short vid of it. But ultimately, it's what you do is you get your tomatoes and you cut them all up and core them out. You put them on the stove. You bring them to a boil and cook them. I'd have to look back on the recipe, though. I'm not even fully awake now. But anyway, so then you squish them, and then ultimately what you do is you take the juice, put them in the quart jars, and it's 1 level teaspoon of salt. That's it. Some people like to put like spicy stuff or other ingredients in it. That's just it, though. We love just straight up tomato juice with a teaspoon of salt in a quart jar. Good morning, Elba Lopez. Elizabeth, I think that's a very sweet thing of you to say, that I'm just a baby. But, honey, let me tell you what. Even when I was young, I always felt like I had to grow up fast. And I think some of you on here probably can understand that. Do I skin them? No, I do not. And Gibson, we just chop them up and put them in the thing. And then when they're all boiled down and everything, that's when we just like use a potato masher. And then we put it through, what are those things? You know, oh Lord, my brain's not working, y'all. It's a strainer. That's what we do. And so that's about it. CHP, I'm a kid at heart, but some people say I have an old soul. So I guess I'm blessed in both areas, because it really, y'all know how I feel. It don't matter what your age is. It does not matter at all. I've gone through these stages in my life where I've had to be very conscientious of, okay, you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, now you're in your 50s. And how is it that I am going to see it? Because I'm the one that's got the choice. I'm going to see it the way I'm going to see it. This ain't no Clint Eastwood. A man or a woman's got to know their limitations. Yes, he's right in some ways, but I don't look at my life as, okay, I'm limited as I'm older. I look at life as, okay, what's wrong with having to accept that I cannot do things that I used to could do? I've done those things that maybe I wish I could do those things. But then again, I've spent a lot of my life doing those things. It's time to do something different. It's time to change course, to fit into the moment of my age now. And if I'm busy looking at things I can't do, then I sure as hell ain't going to be looking for things that I can do. I'll be too busy wallowing in it. And folks, I wallow, I whine, I complain. I do those things just like everybody else at some point or another. But then there are some people, I'm sure on here, that have learned their lesson of that. And they're like, that's just a waste of damn time. Nancy Bergbauer says, my sister cans, and she said if you want the skins off, freeze the tomatoes. Then put them in warm water and they come right off. Well, there you go. I'll have to try that. Maybe we'll perfect it. Wayne and I will perfect it, but I try to remember all them times I'd visited my mother. She used to live 2 hours from me, and how she'd stood in the kitchen and we'd have boxes and boxes of tomatoes, and how she worked so hard, just the old-fashioned way. Hell, they got blenders now, or food processors and all kind of things. We just did it the old-fashioned over the stove. But I'm assuming that the new way can make tomato juice taste good as well. CHP says growing old is a gift from God. Hi, Christina Hill. I'm pretty sure. Now, don't get on me, Christina Hill, where you told me last time that I didn't look well. And maybe I don't. Maybe I don't look well. But when you just roll out of bed and you don't do anything but just go get your coffee, come out to the porch, sit down, try to wake up. Folks, this is my way of us all knowing that we all have to wake up, whether we wake up at night because we work in the mornings or whatever, but we all sleep and we all wake up. There's no difference with me than anybody else. I'm just an old country girl getting up out of bed, going to pour me some coffee, and coming to see all y'all. And I know that, there's this image online where people have their hair fixed just perfect, or they wear all this makeup and they just look so pleasing to the eye. Well, KJ knows I'm not pleasing to the eye. Hell, I just got out of bed. Good morning, Bonnie Baker. No, you didn't offend me, Christina Hill. It just made me realize that people they do notice. They do notice. And that's a good thing for me, because I think that, we get so, well, let me speak for me. I get so used to seeing the way that people are on social media and in news headlines, pictures, magazines, all of those things. And sometimes it's just nice to know somebody just rolled out of bed. You know what I'm saying? It's nice to know there are real people in the world. And I know you was just being a sweetheart. Don't get me wrong. Well, thank you, Just Deborah. I leave my face on the pillow in the morning. By the time I get back to bed, my wrinkles are going. And Gibson, do y'all see I look a little more tan today? Well, that leads me from Saturday's auction into Sunday. Wayne and I spent all day on the boat fishing. And you want to talk about getting away from social media or any kind of media influence at all? That's why I love fishing so much, because it focuses my mind on what I'm doing at hand. And we're out in the middle of this lake, usually in a cove. All you hear is the sound of nature. You might hear a boat in the distance going by, and we just cast out, and that anticipation of catching the big one, that's something that is just enjoyable, even if you don't catch a thing. But we did. We caught fish yesterday. Wayne was the Gordon's fisherman yesterday, y'all. He brought in 3 catfish. And we caught a bunch of little brim and smaller catfish, and they're just as much fun to catch. We went there about 9:30 in the morning and didn't get the boat back on the trailer to leave until about 5 o'clock in the evening. So KJ's got her tan, even though I did wear a hat. And we did some fishing, and that was a lot of fun. You just sit there. You don't have to talk. If you do, it's usually about, give me some more bait, or how much bait we got, or maybe if we cast over in this area or something like that. Yeah, Nancy Bergbauer. Oh, KJ got her a hot pink pole there, and I've enjoyed getting used to that. Wow. A 42-inch northern pike. Record fish, says CHP. Wow. We have like catfish, brim, bass. Well, in the lake we were in, other areas that you could have walleyes, you could have, all kinds. I mean, there's really not a whole lot of types of fish, but they're good enough. Good morning, dodging bullets. So anyway, we went fishing all day yesterday, and we got back in, and we brought the big ones. We're talking big ones, like 4 or 5 pounders, to our neighbor, because we don't skin fish. We don't do that. But we gave them to our neighbor to fillet them. And who knows? One evening maybe the neighbor will come by. Wouldn't shock me one bit, and say, here you go. I've made some catfish, boneless. They'll fillet them and everything. And all you have to have is the tartar sauce. So it's a life. It's a life. Yeah, Nancy. Some people say crappie. I say crappie. That's what I call them. Hey, Deborah Rivers. Ann Gibson says, I went deep sea fishing on a trawler for cod. I was as sick as a dog. Oh, my goodness, Ann Gibson. That's an experience old KJ doesn't know nothing about. I don't get seasick, but I've never been on a cruise line. Wayne and I have no desire to go on a cruise, although we could, we just don't. I don't get sick on the pontoon, or I don't think I've ever been sick on a boat. CHP, I think the best tartar sauce I ever had comes from Captain D's. I know. I'm sure there are some excellent tartar sauce recipes out there. But Captain D's, it's a little seafood place. Some of y'all might know what that is. Some of y'all might not. But they have tartar sauce there that is really good. But we enjoyed ourselves. It was just a full weekend. Have you ever had one of those where you stay busy doing something? I really enjoy that because y'all know the idle mind is the devil's playground. And KJ, with my overactive brain, if I'm sitting too long thinking, which I don't see nothing wrong with sitting and pondering and just kind of being still and all that, but sometimes it doesn't react well with old KJ. Sometimes it's good just to get busy doing something. And there are some people on here that like to do knitting and crocheting. I wish I could do that, and maybe I'll take a class doing it. That's something I thought about. I'm like, there are a lot of things that you can go take classes doing. You can meet other people. It's something that you can take pride in when you learn it. And just as that 94-year-old woman every year always crochets something for the auction, how it must do her heart good to know that her little fingers there have helped raise money for a cemetery fund. My Lord. Nancy, it took you 90 minutes to pull in a 99-pound shark? Well, I'll tell you, I've never eaten shark. But some people say shark steaks are good. I guess I watched the movie Jaws 2, and I don't get into that. Now I've had alligator. Wayne told me of a time that him and a bunch of men went on this deep sea fishing thing out off of Florida down there in the Gulf Coast. He said he'd never do it again. I mean, these are accomplished businessmen and all. They all get together. They pay, like each of them pay, I don't know how much money, but they all pull their money and they get this big whopper boat. And they go out and they do some deep sea fishing. He said he would never do it again because I'm just going to be up front with y'all. He went on there and, first of all, they were all drinking. And, no, I don't know, what the scene was like. But this fella on there said, I got the remedy for any of y'all that are getting seasick. And he pulls out a bunch of dang marijuana cigarettes, pulls them out. Most of the guys on there were all smoking it. Wayne wouldn't dare do that. You're already out. You're way out. You can't say, y'all, I don't feel comfortable with this. Take me back to shore. So he kind of went along and everything. He said he said from the moment they fired it up, he said, and they were all drinking and not Wayne, because Wayne doesn't drink. He said it just got really, really wild. And he said through the whole trip, he was just so glad that the charter itself, the guys on there that were running the boat, that they weren't partaking of any of that they were being professional and stuff. Olive Heatley said, did gardening yesterday, got a new hedge trimmer, but oops, I cut through cable. I almost died, but I fixed it. Hopefully scared life out of me. Oh, Lord, Olive. I'm glad you're okay. Chris Arnett says, my brother does that every year in Destin, Florida in June. Oh, I see, Chris Arnett. So everybody does their activities, whatever they are. But I want to say this. At any time in my life, and maybe even some of y'all, there might come a time where you can't do those things anymore. And maybe you have medical conditions, or maybe you're at home and you're a homebody and you can't really get out like you'd like. Well, there are a lot of things you can do. Namely, get on social media and find some positivity if you want to do that. I know that I've got friends that love to sit and watch these videos on art and crafts and things of that sort. Ann Gibson says, I don't have the patience to knit. Remember all the little baby bonnets, etc. Well, I think this day and time, and I can only speak for myself, it just seems like I don't have the breathe in, breathe out patience like I used to. And even then, I don't think I've ever had a lot of patience to do things. Hello, Maisie. Hi, Hava Yayla. So, I've got to develop some patience. How do I do that, y'all? We've had to be patient, whether we liked it or not, during all this time covering this one case. It never seemed like it was ever going to get here, and I think about all the times that I burned brain cells or the midnight oil, basically wanting everything to get here very quickly. Y'all know the 31st is coming up here pretty soon, and people are ready for it. They're ready for the end of the saga of the hussy and her going away to prison. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm looking forward to seeing the adjudication process end in sentencing. But with that being said, adjudication also includes what, y'all? Appeals. And I was looking online. I guess here in the last couple of weeks, I kind of brought it up about this Manson cult member who's now out free. This cult member can stab someone in the back 16 times, help murder, and all that, and they're able to walk around here. It's called America's Idea of Rehabilitation. And then we are now starting to see, y'all, the coming out in the news again of Lyle and his brother. I forgot the other brother's name. You know, they those rich boys that murdered their I forgot the Lyle, and y'all tell me who that is. It's Lyle and his brother, whatever, who murdered the parents for the money. They shot and killed them. The Menendez brothers, right, Olive? Thank you. See? When my brain don't work, someone on here's got a better brain than old KJ. Well, anyway, now they're saying that there's this big push now to get these guys a new trial and all this. Well, they started that shit years ago with this cult member. What they're doing is they're getting everyone used to the idea of letting these murderers out of prison. And what else could we expect, y'all? Could expect from the world we live in that somehow people who do these evil things, somehow they can be rehabilitated through whatever programs they have in the prison and come out to be productive members of society. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a firm believer in terms of my faith that if you do something wrong and evil and all that, if you have remorse, if you truly in your heart of hearts, which is not for me to decide, only God decides this, and you ask God to forgive you, then he will forgive you. But here is what I say in terms of man. They want to punish these people. They give them a sentence, but then they don't see it through. A lot can be said about when was the last time Idaho actually enforced their death penalty laws. It's been years and years and years. So even though mankind has this way of trying to say, we're going to play the lowercase g here, we want to be on the same level, they want to forget about God Almighty and all the things that happen. These are just my opinions. It is staring us in the face that no matter how lofty, how good of a reason, or maybe the ethics or whatever of mankind, it's never going to stack up to the healing forgiveness of God Almighty. Hi, Susan Honecker. Yeah, it's interesting that a state, Olive, can impose a death sentence, and then they've got it in their legislation on a state level where a governor can put a moratorium on it. In other words, nobody's gonna get the death sentence here during my administration. And then how many times has a death sentence been overturned for a fixed life sentence, and then you're like, okay, they didn't get the death penalty, and they're going to spend the rest of their life in prison, and the next thing you know, they're walking the streets again. If the court sentencing for Manson crime Leslie Van Houten, after they took death off and then sentenced her life with the possibility to parole, they have to go through the process, says Lori. I thought that when someone gets a death sentence, that if it is overturned, it's fixed life. It's not with the possibility of parole after that. I don't, maybe I'm just ignorant, and I'm okay with that. Good morning, Mary Stone. My nephew's murder trial for next year, but she will go to prison, but not forever, unfortunately, says Olive. And Olive, my brother was murdered, and I haven't kept up with all of that, but he got 25 years to life for all I know. He'll eventually get paroled. I don't know. Good morning, Cindy Bullock. So anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this conversation, because y'all know I never have anything in front of me per se. All I know is that no matter how much I bellyache or point out the defects of the justice system in this country, how many times, as many of y'all said, The justice system is broken. Adjudication does not end with the hussy being sentenced. And, as many of y'all know, that she's got to go into Arizona. And what did OKJ say? I always said that Arizona would be a great backstop. In other words, no matter what happens in Idaho, no matter how it happens, she will get convicted in Arizona. She will never, ever get out of prison, in my opinion. But then again, the family members of these murder victims over there in California from Charles Manson's cult probably never thought they'd see the day that the federal government, and not just the federal government, but the federal judiciary would say, yes, she needs to be paroled. Hi, Daisy Sushine. Good morning, Mary Bono. I did, Mary Bono. I had a great weekend. I was telling the Rays on here. Wayne and I went to a charity auction on Saturday, Sunday. We went fishing all day long. It was great. All right, Nancy. Be careful out there. Off to doing errands. It was a pleasure to be with the Rays, says Nancy. So, this week is absolutely supposed to be a scorcher. Here in Tennessee, we're supposed to have more heat in the air. Yesterday was wonderful. It only got up to 84 degrees. And for all of y'all that are out here in this weather, because y'all seen the headlines, I'm sure. There's a lot of heat-related death going on and all that. Just be sure that you drink plenty of water, that you don't get out and get exhausted. Donna Donald says, I'm working my last week from the office. Next week I'll work one less day a week and from home. Semi-retired and more time for Cresha and the Rays. That's wonderful, Donna. You do an excellent job. An excellent job. I like to hear what you have to say too, Donna. You're really, really articulate. You mesh very well with Cresha. The good Lord works in mysterious ways, does he not? Mary Bono says it's going to be hot here in Michigan. Jenny Benny says we just ended our heat wave. Grammy B says thank you so much, Donna. We love you. Ann Gibson says Greece has some terrible wildfires. Yeah, they were having a bunch of stuff up there in Canada, and now they're saying Washington State now. Cindy Bullock, it says hot flashes. I get those. Imagine that. At 52 years of age, I get those. Hello there, Mr. M. How are you? VixTech says Houston is hotter than Hades. Daisy Sushine says here in South Louisiana, it's extreme heat warnings. We are leaving to be there with our grandbabies for a few days. I'm so excited, says Grammy B. Yeah, y'all. I had to get it. I think the Rays remember me wearing it one other time. It reminds me to give myself a break a little bit, to know that I'm going through some changes. Y'all, which reminds me. I was reading this thing where this guy and his wife, they were through having children. Maybe y'all have read it. And she wanted him to have a vasectomy, and he didn't want to have one. And so everybody went off the deep end with him and everything. And I think they were in their late 30s or something like that. And they already had 2 children, and they said that they were through having kids, that they'd always wanted 2 kids. So she wanted him to have this procedure done so she wouldn't have to take birth control. Hey, let me tell you what, y'all. That makes all the dang sense in the world to me. I mean, the woman has to carry the baby. The woman has to give birth to the baby. The woman has to breastfeed if she so desires to do that. She has to, for the most part. Now, sometimes it's untraditional. Maybe the father could possibly stay home. It's all in what it all has to do with. But when it comes to planning your family and all this and that, I think the man should take hold of it. Don't y'all? Grammy B, I'm not gonna do anything other than pray that God's will, because I already know that it's selfish of me to want grandbabies. I already know it. It's none of my business what my sons do. I tried to think that I could push up against that brick wall and realized how utterly selfish I was being. If God's will is that I have a grandbaby, I'll have one. Because I know that if I leave it in God's hands and ask God's will in all areas of my life, whether it gets answered or not, it will get answered even if I don't hear nothing. If something doesn't materialize, I know that that's an answer too. Who is Jenny Apple and Sarah from COG? Who are they? Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate that. Did you really, Grammy? It's wonderful when those prayers get answered, doesn't it? Sometimes I think if only I could get my prayers answered, but I know in my heart of hearts, some of the things I prayed for in my life, which I felt like were good, positive things, they never materialized. But something else always does happen to make things better. Gotta let the cats in, y'all. Good morning, everybody. Here's Tylee. A lot of y'all remember when she was just a kitten. He's mad at me. He's mad at me. She's not used to me picking her right up when she comes in the morning. So she's like, what's going on here? What's going on? My husband took himself off, didn't tell me, and got a vasectomy after 4 kids. Wow. That's interesting. Don't you think he should have discussed that with you, Ann Gibson? That'd been something. They are young mothers who have cancer and have channels. Okay, Grammy B. I will pray for them. Definitely will. Jean Patou says, those boys will give you grandbabies sooner than you know. I sure hope so. I'm not going to pressure them, though. I nearly got Andrew upset with me. Christina Hill says, we need more Lori funny dress-up videos. And why, Christina Hill? Why do you need more Lori funny dress-up videos, huh? Do you need them or do you want them? Christina Hill says, KJ with a wig. I flipped my wig, y'all. Elizabeth says, yes to the funny videos. Entertainment. Let me entertain you. Oh, Lord, we've seen a lot. I guess y'all just have to wait for July 31st, late in the evening, y'all. I'm serious. We're doing the burning of the effigy. Some of y'all think I'm kidding around, but you're going to be shocked. No, he said they were his to do what he wanted. Also, I believe he did it because I had such a bad pregnancy. He didn't want to go through it again. I understand, Ann Gibson. I wasn't trying to say anything on that. It's just if Wayne decided to do something like that, and this is just other people's relationships are their own. This is the way I see it. Whatever works for you, whatever is productive and respectful and loving and all those things, I'm all for it. Just because me and Wayne do things a certain way doesn't mean that other people do. Little Bronze says, hey, good morning, KJ. I'm finally up with you. Well, good for you, Little Bronze. Y'all tell me something I don't know. Tell me something. See, it's always been about all of us together, right? Tell me something I don't know. Something, just let me in on it. Oh, well, that's wonderful, Christina Hill. You got me through my depression with making me laugh. That right there is very special, Christina. I appreciate you letting me know that. I always believe that anything that OKJ does, I don't necessarily have to know what that does for people, but when they volunteer it and it's a good positive result, it makes me very happy inside. It humbles me. Rubbing butts is lucrative, says Little Bronze. Now, all right, now you've done cast the line out there, Little Bronze. You got your bait on that comment. Rubbing butts is lucrative. Well, I got a big butt and I cannot lie. You got me wondering what you're talking about. Are you a massage therapist? And do massage therapists get to the gluteus maximus there? We talk about everything, and I think I may have talked him out of it, says Ann Gibson. Okay, Little Bronze, I'm glad you're clarifying that. I didn't know what you was talking about. Well, hey, I bet you got the magic fingers there. Massage therapy. Wayne and I believe in it. We also believe in 105 degrees in our hot tub. Anything you can do for self-care as you grow older. If you don't have a hot tub, you can run you a hot bath. You can get these massager things that massage your shoulders and arms and all of that. You can get these relatively cheap things that you put on the back of your chair that massage your back and all that if you can't afford a massage therapist. Julie Thompson says, did you do an episode of Zuzu's professional cuddler career? No, I did not, Julie, but that's an excellent thing to think about for a skit there. Zuzu doing cuddling. Wonder what her line of work is now, y'all, huh? I am Zoo. It used to be Zuzu, but now it is Zoo. I work and I make snow cones at the zoo. My name is Zoo. I don't really want to work in this line of work. I make the snow cone. People, they love to eat the snow cone. But I need to go back to finding a new reality. Because I never really got real reality in my life. I need to find one. I need to go find someone to help me through this fact that I can't accept reality. I need to make my reality. Oh, Sheila Forrest. Oh, you can almost see Zulema now. I got a call from this guy. He's in his mid-40s. He collects bobbleheads. He doesn't have much of a life, but he called me to say that he needs me to come to him because he needs my professional cuddlers. I got to cuddle him. When I sit down with him, he lays out all his bobbleheads and he hits their little heads and they bop up and down. And I start my cuddling session by grabbing hold of the back of the neck, and I help him to become a bobblehead. Then as the session progresses, we need other things to bobble a little bit too. He loves me to rub his elbows in mid-air. I get him to do circular motions both ways as I take my magical volcanic hands and I rub little bronze. I rub the elbows. So now his head here, his elbows are moving. It's time to move forward. Lord, I love to get the bobblehead going. He loves my cuddle service. The next thing you know, we get to other sections and it bobbles a lot. It takes a while to get it bobbling, but once it does, I've got about a minute before the thing falls down, go back up. I love the bobblehead sessions with this gentleman. It is so creamy. It's such a pretty world today. Look at the sunshine. Today and every day since I met you. I gotta fill up my coffee, y'all. I love to see people smile, and I do love to see people laugh. It is a Monday, and if OKJ can help someone have a better day, what's it take? I mean, not everyone has a sense of humor, and maybe you yourself, maybe people don't like your jokes. But I'll tell you what, if you try to cheer someone up by joking around with them, and it don't seem to be happening or whatever, just remember this: you've tried, and your motive inside your heart was really to bring some smiling and happiness into somebody's life. Yes, Olive. Laughing is priceless. It really is. Hey, y'all. There's some funny stuff online. I mean, you can. One of these things. The little pet videos where the pets are making you laugh and all that. I love looking at stuff like that. It's funny how you can spot when somebody is setting it up. And it's not really reality, like reality, it's not just happening in that moment, but then you say, well, these people must have their phone in their hand all the time to catch these moments that people don't normally get to catch. How many times has OKJ seen something and I thought to myself, man, if I'd only got that on video, right? Well, I love everything about all of y'all, Lily Jahan. I really do. I mean, from what I've gathered in the comments, all of y'all are good people. You have your own personalities. You're the only you're ever going to be. And I feed off of that. I feed off the comments. That's what, unless I have something that we're structured in learning on this channel, like if I've got some content that it's educational or whatever, the bottom line is that I'm just basically, it's just us. It's like when you go to sit down with a friend, you can start talking about something, but if they and they're giving you feedback and y'all talking, and maybe the subject changes and your friend starts talking about something, the conversation progresses through the interactions of the friends, both of you, you see. So it's not just two people, it's everybody that's on the channel. So it's real, it's fresh, and you never know what we're going to talk about on a Coffee with KJ. Jenny Benny says, this is such a fun group, always cheers me up. Well, I'll tell you what, y'all cheer me up. When y'all speak of things like, KJ, you're so funny, KJ, you're entertaining and all that, y'all, that swells my heart, I get it. But y'all also cheer me up, help me. It's a two-way street, right? I have found myself trying to be more conscientious, and really trying to be aware, self-awareness of things. What is it that I'm getting stimulated online, or whatever it is, a TV show or whatever it is, and why is it that I get that? People want to say the word entertainment, but there's also other reasons. Entertainment, media stimuli. Y'all, just like I said last week, somebody needs to go 24 to 48 hours up to a week of nothing at all. Nothing. No social media, no TV. You want to wig out your body? You want to see how it is for you? I'll tell you what it's been like for me yesterday. Didn't have my phone out. Didn't have anything. Just went fishing all day long. There's a difference there. I can tell. I can tell the difference. And don't get me wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with media influence as long as you're aware of what you're doing. That's my opinion. It's what we got, right? We all can't come to KJ's house and burn an effigy of the hussy. So I have to bring it to you. And really, it's astounding that we've got people in here from Africa, from Australia, from the UK, from Ireland, all over the United States. We got people here from all over that have a different lens, perhaps culturally, different ways of seeing things. Mark McGarry, the newly married couple, they're doing fine, living life, enjoying life. Glad you brought that up. Everything's going good for them. I believe that they took their vows and they're just living their life. They had been together 3 years before getting married, so I think they're good for one another. Well, CHP, you're going to come to KJ's house on social media. Y'all, I put a lot of time and a lot of effort into this upcoming thing that's coming up July 31st in the evening. It's going to be quite interesting. I'm going to be able to say that I have presented to the Rays the burning effigy of the hussy, and all that I hope we get out of it through a little bit of content here and there, not just from me, but from some of the Rays on here as well. You'd be surprised what OKJ can put together. Yes, Elizabeth. The different cultures, diversity. It can't be my way or the highway in my life. I know that I have to to absolutely understand that other people have different points of view. Some of them I might not agree with. And there might even be some people with points of view that I absolutely, I'm like, could get upset about. But really, the bottom line is that who am I anyway? And it's not about being right or wrong. Well, Olive, in a lot of ways, and I've always been transparent with all of y'all. I have a heart, like all of you, but I have a heart about there are people in this world that don't get out to do a lot of things, that don't get to, socialize. And y'all, my God wants us all to be in other people's lives, however that works out. I don't think there's anything wrong with being alone, but there's a difference between being alone and lonely. You can live alone and be alone and not feel lonely. But you can be lonely and have all kinds of people around you. That's just the way it is. Ann Gibson, I guarantee you, if there is rain that night, it's not going to stop old KJ. I guarantee you that. Whatever I got to do, it's going to happen. Obviously, if we have some terrible, terrible storm like we've had last week where the electricity goes out and all that, I'll take it as a signal. Stacy Santa Maria says, hello, KJ. I've been watching you for a long time. I've never commented, but I start my day off every morning with you getting up, going to work, just doing my thing. Thanks for being there. Well, thank you, Stacia. I hope that's how you say your name. Yeah, there's a lot of people that come on here that never speak at all. And the awesome thing about it is I know in my heart of hearts that these people that, and you're one of them, that don't say any comments or anything, they are absolutely wonderful people. I have no doubt at all. I don't have to know. And the ones that comment on here regularly, y'all are the ones that I'm able to get my content, whatever it may come out of my mouth. So it's like just having all this blessing. Just having all the blessing of different folk on here. You don't have to talk or make comments on here to come on this channel and feel accepted. Make no mistake, y'all. There are people on here that I pray for, that I think about, even though I don't know their names, don't know what their personalities are like. I'm one of these big people that think that people should be exactly who they are. I won't lie and say that I wouldn't, but I always encourage people to get out, whatever they're thinking. It's always good because too much of having something inside of them, whether it's just some innocent thought or whatever, it's helpful. You can help someone and you don't even know it. But if you don't speak, right? Say you don't comment, and KJ's sitting here saying, hey, a comment of yours might change someone's life for the better, and you don't even know whether that would happen or not. That doesn't mean that not speaking doesn't change lives either. CHP, when you say these last 3 years have changed me personally for the better, praise God, I can say that too. And I'm right there with you on that. Good for you, Ann Gibson. Could you imagine me coming on here as loud mouth and running my mouth like I do, and then there have been times, y'all, that I've sat silent, but it's not very, very often. And that is the point, Gene Fatu. I feel very safe space when on our. It's our channel, y'all. This channel doesn't monetize. This channel doesn't have this agenda that other channels have. This is an open line of communication. It is our channel. It's always been our channel. I hope you understand that I mean that with all my heart. What's going on with Zero? What's going on with you? Oh, okay. You know, Olive, a lot of people say I remind them of someone, but they can't put their thumb down on it. They don't know who it is that I remind them of. Sometimes they'll say I remind them of someone that they know, but most of the time, people say, you remind me of somebody, and I just don't know who that is. I'm trying to think of who that is, and I take it as a compliment. I do. Rhonda says, I'm slow due to a stroke, so don't type often. Well, thank you for sharing, Rhonda. My husband suffered a stroke a couple of years back, and this was during the pandemic, and I drove him to the hospital. They would not let me in because of the COVID restrictions. I sat out in the parking lot and cried my eyes out. When they got him back there and realized he'd had a stroke, they found where he'd had other strokes. They just couldn't say when they'd happened. There were old signs of strokes. I said, damn, Wayne, you must be tougher than damn nails. They found evidence of other strokes he'd had in his life. Could have happened weeks, months, years before. CHP says, I remind myself of the crazy lady down the street. So, there you go, CHP. I guess it all depends on what's crazy and what isn't. That's such a loose term. I'm going to tell you what, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not willing to allow anyone in this world, in terms of human beings, define to me what normal is. What I do is I look to my God. Some of y'all are atheists, some of you are agnostics, some of you have different religious beliefs or whatever. So when I speak of what I believe, I'm not shoving it down anybody's throat. I'm saying, here I am, y'all. I'm just talking about me. And I know that sounds kind of vain, but who else? I mean, I can only talk about what's coming out of my mouth, or I can't. Oh, I'm here talking about Sally Joe over here and what Sally Joe thinks. Well, how would I know that? I believe that, Olive. You're quick-witted and say it like it is. And I'll tell you what, I've gotten myself in trouble plenty of times doing that. I've said some things that I wished I hadn't have said, or I didn't mean it the way it come out. But once you've said it, that's why I try to learn to measure myself, to think before I speak, which is so hard for me to do. Huh. Well, maybe, just maybe, Beach Lady, maybe I'm more like you than you are more like me. You see? Oh, we're getting into semantics here. Oh, my God. I ain't had enough damn coffee around here. Ah, God. Morning, Nettie. Well, there you go, y'all. Nettie came in to save the day on this Coffee with KJ. Because y'all know I don't have anything that I am here to talk about specifically unless I'm trying to update you on something. Nettie says it. Today is International Self-Care Day, and thank you, Lord, for Nettie. Because y'all know I'm a big proponent of self-care. Take care of you. You can do it. You can love yourself in the right way. However that works out for you. KJ's not here to tell you how to take care of yourself, self-care. I'm here to tell you that I'm doing that for myself because I have to, y'all. Because if old KJ doesn't take care of myself and stay conscientious and think about what it is that I'm going through, I can slip into depression just like that, y'all. Many of y'all say, oh, KJ, you make me laugh. KJ, you're so entertaining, folks. There are times that I cry. There are times that I just feel really dark. I feel like I'm having a bad day or something. And I have to really take care of that. If you have someone who's close to you, very close to you, this is what I say. I've told Wayne this. I'm like, Wayne, when you see that I'm starting to let go of my normal routines that I do every day, like do the laundry, or, if you see things are more messy than usual, if you see me withdrawn, if you see me not my normal self, because Wayne knows me, come to me and say, is there anything wrong? Is there anything we can talk about? And just knowing that he's doing that doesn't mean I'm going to say, yes, I want to talk about it, Wayne. Let's sit down and talk about why I feel depressed as hell. Sometimes like, honey, I'm not feeling well, but, I just don't feel like talking right now. But there's that assurance that there's somebody there that is keeping an eye on me, And some of y'all don't have the luxury of that. And my heart goes out to that. But I'm going to tell you what. If you feel bad and you have no one to talk to, you can always put it out here. You don't have to go into specifics. All you have to do is, I'm just having a bad day. You don't have to say why. The best thing for self-care is to get whatever is bothering you or whatever is making you happy. It don't all have to be negative stuff. Whatever it is, get it out. That's what's important. CHP says, just rub me on the back and say it's going to be okay. There are some things, y'all, a lot of things that I feel like are problems in my life that there's no solution to at this time. Wayne can't fix it for me. Or other family members can't fix that for me. And I can't fix it for myself in the moment. But what do, y'all? Give myself a break. Give me a break. Give myself a break. It's okay. Have a great day, Gene. Hello, Deja Vu. Vix Tech says it, y'all. This too shall pass. It's a good saying. It really is. Go make it a great day, Gene, says CHP. Y'all, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you get up with that great, positive, I'm going to make this a great day. And you really are in your mind trying to make it a great day, and bad things happen. And it can just rain on it all. But at least knowing that there are thoughts in old KJ's mind that can keep me down, that is like a reel going round and round in there. That's just me, though. That I can take those out and replace it with another reel. I'm an affirmational person, y'all. I'm not going to let this shit all over my day. I'm just not going to. That's what I say to myself. I refuse. Stubbornness can be very negative, but by God, y'all, as far as OKJ is concerned, I'm going to be stubborn about negativity coming into my life. It's going to come into my life and how I handle it. I'm going to be positive. I'm not going to let this shit get me down, whatever it is. Jenny Benny says it's not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. Great. And that's another thing that I've done. I'll confess it to y'all. I'll go on Google Images and I'll put in a positive quotes or love quotes or positive things, and I'll sit and I'll read all of the quotes to myself. Just, oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one too. Or, that one right there, it's a positive quote, but I don't quite agree with it, but I understand they had their heart in that, and so forth and so forth. Betsy B says, I'm 54. I've been having such a fun time riding my electric bike while listening to you in my earbuds. Folks, there is such a lot of good in this world. And it's so easy to let, especially when our outlet is media, whatever it may be, television, social media, whatever. It's so easy. I've done it, y'all. I've done it where I've drawn myself toward things that make me so sad and everything. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we have to feel the sadness or those feelings. Those are natural emotions. So there's nothing wrong with that. But we have to also be reticent that there has to be a variety there. Like a tossed salad. You can't put all the lettuce in there and leave every damn thing else out, and vice versa and vice versa. It's just a healthy balance. And I wish I could sit here and look you in the face and say, here's how to have a healthy balance. It's a personal thing. It's a personal thing. Olive says variety is spice in life. Y'all are so articulate. You enlighten me. You help me. Let me just be clear. This channel is our channel, and we're here to help one another. We're here to help each other through this adjudication of this case that we're in. Y'all, how long did we have to wait for the damn hussy to go to trial and all the things that we learned up till then? Some of it was unrelated. We can't be so narrowly focused that we don't get the full meal deal out of life, right? Balance is so important, says Jenny Benny. Amen, says CHP. So going back again, which is what I always do, about a cult member in California being paroled and living free now after they were supposed to spend life in prison, or the fact that now there's this campaign. There was one for Scott Peterson, but that didn't fly. Now you got it for the Menendez brothers. And there have been other times, y'all, that we've seen people walk right out the door after rehabilitation. I don't feel really 100% about man's enforcement of anything that will happen to Lolo and the Chudster there. But Idaho has still got lifers. And even Nate Eaton said that Lori would be taken to Pocatello, which that's what I thought she was going to. She's going to be in Pocatello Women's Prison. The bottom line is there's going to come a time that, there could be a possibility that this could be revisited. But in my opinion, I can only speak for myself. I'm 52 years of age. Maybe I will be in heaven with my mother by the time the hussy and a chatty boy, the gherkin pickle there, ever even get the idea judicially to get out of jail or anything like that. Jenny Benny, according to Nate Eaton, she will go to Arizona. They came out with an announcement after she was convicted from Maricopa County that they were going to start getting extradition proceedings in place for when she's finally settled into her new home in Pocatello Women's Prison. And y'all, that could be months and months away. It could be a year. It could be. Wouldn't it be interesting if she was extradited to Arizona as Chad Daybell's going on trial? Wouldn't that be interesting? Zero. You can go to Nate Eaton's last courtroom insider where he talks about why Chad's. Not Chad's. Zoom call. You can go to that one too. This one was what to expect at Lori's sentencing. And Nate Eaton says that you can't have the death penalty in Arizona for that because you have to have these aggravating factors. Imagine that, y'all. Arizona doesn't think they've got aggravating factors on what that damn woman did to Charles Vallow. Teresa, Nate Eaton's saying that she won't get the death penalty. They won't try her in a death penalty case in Arizona. But that's coming from Nate Eaton. You're welcome, Jenny Benny. I just don't see how the state of Idaho is not going to go ahead and move forward with this death penalty case with Chad Daybell. They've had all the time in the world. They've had a trial run with success with the hussy. Now they can really start to put the vice grip down and get it ready. And this death penalty case, if it stays intact for Chad Daybell, it's going to run longer than the hussy's trial. Also, I've already told y'all, John Pryor is not going to let this go. He's going to call witnesses. For all we know, he might call Chad. I'm not going to sit here and say Chad Daybell will take the stand because I was wrong about Lori taking the stand, but who knows? He could. He could take the stand. And also, I've really been thinking about this, y'all. The question of whether at victim impact statement time, after they're done, the judge will say, okay, Miss Daybell, do you have anything you want to say? I don't think she's going to say anything. Imagine that. I thought she would go on the stand at one time, but now I don't think she'll say anything. And that's regretful, but in some ways, she should keep her damn mouth shut. She should keep her mouth shut because anything she says isn't going to do anything for the victim's family members. We all know what opening her mouth was part of her utility. You know what I'm talking about? Her mouth was for certain things, and it ain't to make anybody feel better other than maybe on a sexual side with Chad Daybell. Y'all know what I'm talking about. She's giving him a blessing. You know what I'm talking about. Jenny Benny says, I don't think she'll say anything either. She'll just smile like normal. Trevor Lebeck says, I don't think she'll speak. Yes, Teresa. I agree with that. Pryor will be a lot more combative than Lori's attorneys. Yes, definitely. I agree with that 100%. I know I shouldn't have said it, Betsy B, but I'm just saying. Come on, y'all. Let's just get for real. Say that nobody ever found out about anything and Chad and Lori got married. What were they going to go on to do? Huh? Was Lori going to be the girl at his book stand over there, helping him sell his books for the next 20 years? What were they going to do? What was he going to have her around for? And by the way, was she going to take life insurance out on his ass? Who knows? Let me tell you something, Chris Arnett. I would love to sit here and give you my opinion about what the hussy would say at a sentencing hearing. I'd love to do that. But her mind is so twisted up, and she's so damn evil and diabolical. I told y'all, I know within the first 6 months of opening up our channel, I said, it's hard for me to try to put myself there. I've tried everything. Remember that time I wrote out what Chad Daybell would have been his excuse for everything, and I read it to y'all. I mean, I was grasping to try to figure that out, but I know one thing that would motivate her to try to say, oh, I'm sorry this all happened, nobody understands kind of shit, would be she's thinking about her only way out of prison would be her appeals. So why would she just wants out of prison. So why would she say anything like, I'm sorry I did this or anything like that? She's going to keep quiet. That's what's going to happen. Yes, Susan Honecker. Yes, whatever Lori says at the sentencing hearing could be used. And that's why a lot of people never say anything when the judge asks them, do you have anything you want to say before sentencing? Some will say, I'm innocent of all this or whatever, but most of the time they don't say anything because their attorneys are smart enough to know that goes in the record. This, again, the sentencing hearing, it is part of the adjudication. Once she's sentenced, the adjudication continues on through appeals. And then you've got Arizona waiting on her ass. Right, Zero. She can never admit any guilt or appeals end. She can't. Which brings me to something that Nate Eden was talking about. And I'll echo Nate on a lot of these things that he says because I agree with him. Where he talks about that Chad Daybell, if he goes into a plea agreement, he gives up his rights. His appeals would be one of the first things that the state would want. They would say, yes, we'll enter into this plea agreement with you, Mr. Daybell, Mr. Chin there, but you've got to give up your right for appeals. And that's where it's worth its weight and gold to the Idaho taxpayer. You can be damn sure of that. Again, let me just be clear. You heard it here. I'm sure you've heard it other places too, but I'm going to say it. The bottom line is Chad Daybell is definitely going to be indigent. He's going to be indigent. There's no way that they can afford, John Pryor cannot afford to put on a defense in a death penalty case. It lasts longer. It involves more. Yes, Teresa. But you remember when she first was busted and convicted, they did that interview with Jodi Arias after she was convicted, and she went off the deep end over the family members, talking about Travis Alexander was this abusive POS and all that other stuff. But when she knew she couldn't keep herself from getting the death penalty unless she got up there and basically said yes and admitted all this stuff, these people, they know when time is up. They know they can't put on their bull crap anymore. They know it's time. And maybe Lolo will get there. I doubt it though. I think she'll keep her mouth shut. So I guess in a nutshell, what I am sharing with you this morning as it relates to this case is that nothing is really final except in one area. Y'all know that. I mean, a lot of y'all do. Maybe some of y'all don't. The final judgment, y'all. God Almighty. And I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, my thoughts are not his. I'm telling you, man's punishment can be cruel in this earth, but it also can be, they try to be redeeming through rehabilitation, right? This cult member over there in California is walking free. Oh, she's been punished enough. Let me tell you what, it don't work that way like with God. It don't work that way at all. Well, that's a good point, Judy Burgess. If Chad is indigent, don't you think he will get his trial delayed another year so the new lawyers can get up to speed on the case? It's a possibility. Because if he is ruled indigent, y'all know, because we've already been down this road, when Lori was indigent, by Idaho code and state law, she needs a death penalty certified attorney. And so there it is, y'all. Olive says Lolo and Chud will never admit guilt. Of course they can't. They can't let people know the truth. Truth is them being evil, nasty, disgusting serial killers. Yes, Fix Text. I think John Pryor's going to do everything in his power to stay on the case. It's just the way it is. Olive, will Pryor want the state to pay him for Chud? If John Pryor files for indigency for Chad Daybell, he himself can be put on this case. He can go and do what he needs to do to be death penalty certified. What does that take? Maybe some of y'all have researched that. I think that's a question that I'll look up and I'll let y'all know about that. Exactly, Nettie. They would rather destroy everything and everyone rather than admit responsibility. So we'll get together, y'all. We're going to get it together as much as possible on Coffee with KJ. And let me just be upfront with you right now. There are going to be days, perhaps it's like today or other days in past time, that we really don't narrow down our chat in what we're talking about. We keep it wide open because there's just so much diversity, so much originality of all of us on here. Let's not give that up. Let's all continue to get justice through understanding. Let's be there for one another. Let's be there for the victims' family members. And I just want y'all to know that I appreciate all the support that y'all have shown me through your comments. Because I'll tell you this right now. There's nothing more important than just showing your love and being real with people. That's what they want. They want people. I want that. And if I want it, I know other people do as well. Let's all continue to get together as much as we can. Let's do the best we can to take care of ourselves in the right, humble, and selfless ways that we can. Let's not forget that if we're not careful, that we can allow something to bring us down, and that there are a lot of different ways that we can decide to let those things out that need to come out. So I want all y'all to know I love you. Harley62, I hope you had a great birthday. I love all of y'all, and I'm going to just get with y'all again real soon. Keep an eye on the community wall, and just have a wonderful Monday. A Monday can be a beautiful day. I learned that because all y'all have educated me and taught me so much about myself and about the world and about things that we can do to be there for one another. So have a wonderful Monday, y'all, and keep on looking.